Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, The Sea Life 6. If you're new here, my name is Alacia, and every Friday here we do Chit Chat Fridays. Please remember to hit that subscribe and notification button. Also remember to like the video so you can get notified every time a new video comes out. Okay, so go ahead, grab your coffee, grab your water, grab your tea, grab something, sit on down, and let's chit chat. So what's the juicy news in your life? Any tea? Anything crazy happen? Anything? Put it in the comments below. We'll talk about it. I want to hear out all the things. Because I feel like I don't talk to anybody anymore because of this whole COVID thing. Like, it's draining everybody. It's draining everybody. We were doing good. Now they're saying that it's coming back. And people are talking about shutting down again. I'm just like, when is it gonna end? We do what we gotta do and keep people safe, you know, but it really does suck. I'm a social person. I like hanging out with people, I like talking to people, so not being able to do that, it sucks. It sucks. It sucks. So, what is new? What's new this week with me? Well, I'll tell you the news. If you didn't watch my video last week, I talked about how my 3-year-old broke his arm. He's gonna be the death of me, you guys. Like, I have, you know, my oldest is 9.5. Then I have a 6.5-year-old, a 5-year-old. I have all boys. I have gone this long without any of them breaking anything. And y'all, my little 3.5-year-old, he's giving me a run for my money. He is giving me a run for my money. He's my one that's had stitches. He is my one that broke his arm. He is my no fear child. Like, even with the broken arm, he's still climbing on everything. I'm like, this is why you broke your arm to begin with. Stop it. Stop it. But yeah, so I went this past week and so he broke his arm in Maryland. Little backstory, he broke his arm in Maryland when I was visiting family while my husband was gone. My husband is on a US Navy submarine, so he's gone a lot. So with this whole COVID thing going on, I went home with my family so I could have help with my kids, because, you know, we couldn't take kids into grocery stores. We kind of need to eat, and I didn't have anybody help me with the kids. My husband's gone. What's gonna happen? So I went home with family to help, you know, be there during this whole COVID thing. A lot of stuff happened at home. May was not a good month to my family. Not a good month to my family. But it is what it is. We're getting through it and we're pushing forward. But my little 3-year-old Gage, he broke his arm. So I had to come back here, call his pediatrician. I sent his pediatrician. Thankfully, they gave me a disc of my son's x-rays and like the notes and everything. Sent it to my pediatrician because he has to see an orthopedic doctor, obviously, a pediatric orthopedic doctor. And the big thing with my son's break is where he broke his upper humerus bone. They were concerned that he was going to need surgery because most of those breaks, like, they do need surgery. However, they decided to reset the break, and we were hoping it would heal normally, and in 3 weeks after I came home, we were going to reevaluate and see where we are. Well, we wound up going to Hasbro Children's Hospital up in Providence, Rhode Island, because the doctors there, they have a better pediatric orthopedics in the Children's Hospital up there. So that's what we were referred to. It's about a little over an hour, like an hour and 15 minutes drive each way, but you know what, you gotta do what you gotta do with your kids, right? So on, what was it Tuesday? No, Wednesday, I had to be up there for a 9:30 appointment. So we had to get up super early because I didn't want to take a chance on like a car accident or something. So we left, got there, and they took his cast off, they retook x-rays, and thank God. They were really concerned that the doctors here were concerned that the reset was not going to work, and that, you know, we obviously were still going to have to do surgery on him. So they wanted to see him as soon as they could because we had to quarantine for 14 days after coming home and all that jazz. So they took his cast off, they re-x-rayed it, and thank God, praise God, it is healing beautifully. You can definitely still see the fracture there. It's not nearly as bad as it was to begin with, but the reset did its thing and his arm is healing beautifully. So what they actually wound up doing is they put him in a soft cast, which is where it's still, he has the shell on his arm, right? But instead of being wrapped in the fiberglass, that's the hard cast, they gave him just, we wrap it in an ace bandage. That way I can take it off to bathe him and so on and so forth. And if you can hear him, he's also having a fit apparently in the backyard with his brothers. 3-year-olds, 3 teenagers. Does anyone want one? No, I'm just joking. I would never give him up. But whew, the threes with him are hard, guys. They're hard. So yeah, so they wound up putting him in a soft cast. Honestly, it's driving me crazy. I wish we would have done a hard cast again, because he keeps unraveling it. He keeps pulling it off. Like, it's driving me insane. If he doesn't wind up re-breaking his arm, I will be impressed. We have to go back in another 3 weeks. So on the 14th of July, I have to go back and we have to reassess again. Basically, we're taking this every 3 weeks at a time. So he's gonna be pretty much they told us he's gonna be in a soft cast for the next couple of months, basically for the whole summer. And they just wanted to keep reevaluating him every 3 weeks. I just have a feeling that they're gonna wind up putting a hard cast back on. I'm gonna talk to my husband about it. I think I should call them and talk to them and say, look, like, he is just taking it off, like it's not working, and I'm really concerned he's gonna break it again. So I don't know if I should just go back up there and just get a hard cast on. So I'm gonna talk to my husband about that, because he was playing earlier. We went to the park earlier and he's running around. He was on the swing, he's going down the slide. Next thing you know, he come over and he has it off and his arm's just flying around. I'm like, no. So that's a fight. That's a fight. Other news, we did find out that the house that we are in right now, that we are renting, currently just went under contract. So again, there's so much to say about this, so much to say, but I really can't until we're 100% done and over with this house. Oh, the video is coming. Wait for the video. It is coming. The one thing honestly I'm concerned about right now is, I don't know if they've really been clear when selling this about a couple of things that are wrong with the house, because I didn't find anything about it. Now they're legally supposed to notify anyone who's looking in the house, right? Because there's a septic problem in this house. I will say that there's a septic problem in this house. They know what the problem is. A month into living here, the septic backed up into our basement where our kids' play area is. It was bad. It was bad, okay? And it's done it a couple more times. They know what the problem is. They didn't pay to fix it though. Yeah, you heard me right. They know what the problem is. The owners did. And they basically were like, we're not fixing it. We don't care. We don't care that you are renting this house and you're paying top dollar to rent this house because the area that it's in, the school district that it was in, even though we now homeschool full time, because unfortunately with my son having autism, it just school was not working out for him. Okay, watch my other videos. I'll link other videos and you can see my reasoning, our reasoning for why him and his autism and school just weren't working. My other children were, however, still, sorry, I'm watching a bee. I'm like, I'm allergic to bees, so I'm just kind of out the corner of my eye like, don't do it. Don't come over here. I won't hurt you, you won't hurt me. So there's just a lot that needs to be talked about, except I can't and I won't until we're completely out of this house. We have our security deposit back and everything's said and done. But again, look for the video because it will come out. In other news that happened this week, my husband and I were able to find 2 really big storage units. They're both 10 by 30s in a really, really good, I don't know what you call it, like, I get storage unit places. Anyway, the place that we're renting our storage unit from, obviously I'm not gonna tell you the name of that. We were able to get them for a really good deal. They were running a discount. They were like half off. And the storage units are side by side and they're just very clean. We were able to tour them, tour the area. They're very secure. They're in a fenced in secured perimeter that you have to have a keypad and everything else to get into. So that's really nice. I feel a lot more comfortable with that because I was really concerned about having to move our stuff into storage. Now, a lot of people keep asking me like, why are you moving your stuff into storage? Like, I thought the Navy was moving you. So yes and no with that. The Navy is going to move us, but unfortunately because of COVID, the Navy kind of released, and I don't even think it's just the Navy, I'm pretty sure it's military wide, but the Navy released how they're basically implementing doing PCSs because obviously PCSs, which are called permanent change of station in the Navy, they stopped them in March when all this COVID stuff. So like it's a trickle effect. All the people that were supposed to leave in March obviously weren't leaving, so it's pushing back transition periods, right? Well, now they basically have like a system of like priority and who's coming out and blah, 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 blah. So my husband was supposed to have orders. We were originally told for July so we can move in August. Well, now they're not coming out until September. We have to be out of our rental August 15th. So we're going to have to put our stuff, pack our stuff up and put it into storage until we get the orders, because you can't move, like the military will not fund, okay, funding, the money, where the money comes from to move. They're not going to fund us to move until my husband's orders are in hand. And they're not just gonna give it to us right now because of different things that are going on. Again, my kids don't know how to play without hollering, so I'm sorry if you hear them in the background. So we have to wait now for the funding to move. And if you watched my last video, you heard me talk about the fact that so there's a student IDC. Doesn't mean he doesn't know his job. He's just going through the program right now and he's going to graduate. He's set to graduate October and then go onto the boat in November. So a lot of things right now, people, are happening. So because of the gap and everything, we had to put our stuff in storage for a little bit. Not ideal, not what I would obviously want, because we're packing it up. We're, you know, having to pay out of pocket to put our stuff away. But it's the Navy. Things happen all the time. You just have to deal with it. Nothing we can do, just have to adapt, people. But I'm just happy that we were able to find like a really nice storage unit, and for not a ridiculous amount, because we need 2 storage units. We are a family of 6. One 10 by 30 is not going to, you know, it's not going to cut it. We've accumulated things, like, you know, my husband and I both have, we got married when I was 19 and I'm now 30, almost 31. No, I'm just joking. I got married at 19. Like, I left the house at 17. Like, I left my home at 17, joined the Navy at 17, and then I met my husband shortly after joining the Navy, like a couple months after joining the Navy, and we've been together ever since then, since 2007. So we've accumulated a life together. It's a lot of stuff, and you have to take into consideration that we also have 4 kids, so we need some big storage units, people. So that's just what we're gonna have to do. Now, the other thing with moving, and I've talked about this before, we have a weight limit. So right now we're really going through stuff, seeing what we can give away, what we can donate. I try to donate as much as possible because I don't like throwing things away. Somebody else can use them. Some other military family that's just starting out, that's young, they can use this stuff, you know? And I mean, I just, again, remember being young, freshly married, in our first apartment, and I'm like, oh, something's for free, let's go get it. I can redo it, you can redo it. So I mean, pretty much all of our furniture, when we had our first apartment together at 19, all of our furniture came from like Target, and we bought a bedroom set and a couch that I was super excited about from like a furniture store. It was so exciting. And that was basically it. My mom gave me my old bedroom set because we had a 2-bedroom apartment in case, you know, we had someone come stay with us. Family stayed with us a lot. And so I had my old bedroom furniture for a long time. And we bought, you know, we bought a new bed ourselves. And then we had like our table from Target and I think a bookcase. What was in that apartment? We had our dining room table. We had a couch. Oh, the massive TV, which by the way is still kicking and going strong. My husband, okay, so he, right before we got married, he deployed to Kuwait in the beginning of, what year am I talking about, Alacia? Let's go to the timeline. Okay, so from January 2009 until July, the very end of July 2009, my husband was deployed to Kuwait, and he did missions into Iraq. And when he was deployed, he came back, we went all out. Like, we were ballers, you know. We went all out and bought a massive TV. Now, thinking about it now, this TV was the entire size of our apartment wall. It's a 65-inch TV. Like, we were sitting, like, this was the TV, like, it was such a big TV for that apartment. But we still have it. It's still our main living room TV, and it's still going strong. People actually don't, like, they're surprised when they're like, oh, that's a nice TV, and I'm like, this TV is actually 11 years old. So yeah, that's still our main TV, and we bought that. So we had our dining room table, we had, you know, our couch, coffee table, the TV, like we had this little small TV stand. It wasn't anything crazy. I bought a bookcase and a chair, and then we had our bedroom furniture, which was one dresser with a mirror in our bed, and that was it. And then in the other room we had my old day bed and 2 old dressers. They were IKEA beds. But that's how we started. So when we moved, because then we bought a house, my husband and I bought a house right after I turned 20. So we'd only been married, like, we got married 2 weeks before I turned 20. So right after I turned 20, we had bought our first home together, which was a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom rancher at our duty station and we lived there for 6 years. And it was a little over 1,100 square feet. It had a 1-car garage. It had its own laundry room. We just thought, oh my God, we are the bee's knees. And we still have that house. We rented out. So when we moved into that house, we definitely needed more furniture, and because the couch we had was real small. It was like a 2-seater couch. So we sold that, got rid of that, and then I wound up getting like a sectional off of a resale page, and then I got like a new dining room table that was bigger off of a resale page, and you know, just slowly accumulating things when we started our life together. So yeah, it's just like now we're gonna be hitting, like, we've been together we're going on 13 years this December, and this December we're gonna be married 11 years in September. That's a lot of stuff, and let me just tell you, out of the 2 of us, my husband's a hoarder. I am not. I try to go through things every couple of months and get rid of things. Y'all, I get rid of his stuff, and I swear he won't use it for years, and I'll finally go, you know what, I'm just gonna give this to somebody. We're not using it. No sooner have I like dumped it, trashed it, got rid of it, he's like, hey, I'm looking for such and such. And I'm like, I don't know, maybe I got rid of it. I could have gotten rid of that thing years ago. Why do you need it all of a sudden? So just how our life goes. So we really have to go through a lot. Like, I already made a list of things that like we're getting rid of. My kids, like, there's a futon in the basement for my kids. That thing is old and haggard. Like, I'll just give it to another family that maybe needs a couch for their kids' playroom, because I want to get my kids a larger couch, because now that they're getting older, they really can't all fit on the futon together. So they need a larger couch for like their play area. And then I got a bookcase downstairs that's broken that I've just been like duct taping together because I'm not trying to buy another one before we move. So that's gotta go. Then just like our plates, our like dishware is still original from 2009 when we first got married, and we're down to like, I think when I bought the set I had like 20 large plates, 20 like little salad plates, 20 bowls. We're down to 2 bowls. We're down to 2 adult-sized bowls. We are down to like 5 big plates and like 4 of the little plates. Yeah, they need to go. We need to upgrade that. I don't like spending money on things, man. Like, I got other things I like to spend money on. Dishware is not one of them. Not one of them. And then living in this house, like, we had bought a really nice set of silverware because my husband, again, also likes going to, you know, taking food to work before he was on the sub. Now, being on the sub, they provide all meals. So he doesn't have to worry about taking anything to work because they have breakfast, lunch, and dinner on the sub. And so he doesn't have to worry about taking leftovers to work. But when he's in a hospital, like he's on the shore side of it and he's in the hospital, he takes leftovers and everything because they don't, obviously, at the hospital, he has to pay for those meals. So before he got on the sub and he was at the hospital, we both took our meals, but my husband is notorious for throwing silverware away. Dear, stop throwing the silverware away. Stop it. So we wound up getting a really nice pair on Black Friday. And I don't know what's going on with the water in this house. Again, another story. But the water in this house completely destroyed. Like, there's just really weird spotting on our silverware. And I have tried every Pinterest, YouTube hack you can find to clean it off. It doesn't come cleaned off. It'll get cleaned and I'll run it through the dishwasher or even wash it by hand, and then it comes back because of the water here. It's crazy. So I'm gonna get new silverware. Just a lot of stuff that needs to go. A lot of stuff that needs to get looked through. I have to force him to go through his clothes. I go through my clothes again every 6 months and I get rid of things. I donate them. I, you know, do something with them. Because I don't need stuff that I had in high school. That's one, not, look, I had some babies I got diabetes. I ain't 105 pounds no more. I'm not going to look like that again. These hips don't lie. Even after I got down to my smallest weight, when I was working out crazy in the Navy, the smallest I could get down to, which was really fit, by the way. I was super fit. I was actually in the best shape of my life after I had my first son, which was my hardest pregnancy, almost died during labor. I'll come out with that story. I got down just from working out. I worked out 3 times a day. I was crazy after I had him, because of trying to get back into standards and everything in the Navy. I got back down to like 120 and 130 pounds. Like I would fluctuate between then, but I was super fit, like real fit. I had a lot of muscle on me. I don't really want to get back down to 105. When like I was 105 pounds, like I didn't really have any shape to me. So I don't want to be like that again. So there's some things my husband has since high school that I'm like, boo, are you gonna wear that Abercrombie and Fit shirt again from the early 2000s? Probably not. So let's get rid of it. Let's donate it. Let's give it to someone in need. We can do like a, you know, we can give it to a church, you know, that does food, like clothing drives. We can do something. We don't just have to like throw it away. We can do something with it. I'm all for that. I donate a lot of clothes to abused women's shelters around here in Connecticut. You can do a lot of good things like with your old stuff. You don't just have to trash it. Don't trash your stuff. Look to see if it can be reused. Even toys. Here's what I found about toys. I post toys for free for people because maybe, just maybe, they need a part for a toy that they have. That's that toy, but they just want it for a part. So why don't just like, hey, yeah, sure, fine, grab it. I mean, it's missing some stuff, but I had a lot of people that are like, you know what, my kid broke this. Thank you for posting it for free because now I don't have to throw this toy away. I just got the part for it. Anyway, so we just have to go through a lot of stuff. I already started taking down like upstairs. I already have all the pictures off the wall. They're packed. All like our pictures off of our dresser are packed. I got all the clothes out of the storage that I have in space bags. I'm gonna go through them one more time just to see is there anything ripped, anything like too stained. I don't really need to take with us. Obviously we need to worry about weight. So I'm gonna do that. I have the clothes upstairs. The hardest part right now is obviously trying to pack and then keep my children entertained and not killing each other at the same time. That's the hardest part right now. We don't have help, you know, we don't live around here, and then because of COVID, like I don't really feel comfortable being like, hey, do you mind watching my kids for days at a time? So we're trying to figure it out as we go. So a lot of the stuff is going to be happening more in the afternoon when my husband gets home. That way he can spend time with the kids, do stuff with the kids, and I can worry about packing everything. And I have people that are like, well, why don't you make your husband pack? Oh, he's going to, but he also doesn't like to pack the way that needs to be packed. I am a skilled packer, people. I am a professional. If the professional packing was a job, your girl would have it. Okay? Okay. I'm so good at packing things and compacting them and making everything fit and it doesn't get damaged. That's the best part. Things don't get damaged. So I'm like, you know what, honey? Just let me do it. It's a control thing, I think. That's what it is. That's what it is. We'll just call it what it is. It's a control thing. So we're gonna get jumping on that this weekend. On this coming week, I go and pay for the storage units. We can't get them before next week. So I'll be going there 9 a.m. the day I can have them, and I'll be taking stuff with me. That way I can sign for it, pay for it, and then we can start loading things up, because we gotta kind of do this fast because of my husband's schedule and his availability to really help get stuff out of the house. And then what's gonna happen, I know I've come like all the way around. So then what happens is everything's in storage. Once we get orders, the Navy will then go to the storage unit and they'll just load everything onto the truck that's in the storage unit. So I won't get the packing experience. So normally if you do a military move, like the packers, there's people that actually come to your house and they pack for you. And I'm kind of glad, in a way, I'm actually glad that this happened the way it did, because I'm able to pack my things how I want them. I can tell you horror stories about things that were packed, like my friend's entire, she even labeled "do not pack this," right? And because there's so many people in the house and they're packing so fast, she didn't pay attention to it. They packed a trash can that she labeled do not pack. They packed all the trash in the, y'all, they packed all the trash that was in the trash can. It was in storage for months. Their stuff reeked. Anything that was around that one box, it smelled like vomit. It was disgusting because they, and I'm not trying to say all of them don't care, because we've had a couple of packers and they were fantastic. Fantastic. When we moved up here though, the people that offloaded our truck were not fantastic. The people that loaded it and packed it, they were fantastic. The people that offloaded it because they switch, not fantastic, not fantastic. So there's just horror stories. So I'm really glad that I get to pack the way I want to pack. And there's also things like we do have to get rid of. Like they can't take any liquids, candles. We have to make sure that any of our like lawn equipment outside, like our lawnmower, it has to be drained of oil and fuel. The weed whacker, anything that needs any kind of gas to it, you know, it needs to be taken out. I personally take out all the batteries and anything that we own. That way if we wind up in storage longer, because you know batteries, like they can, crap, I don't remember what it's called, but when the batteries go bad, right? So I don't, like my stuff doesn't get destroyed. I just take all the batteries. I try to remember to take all the batteries out of everything. Also, I personally clean everything before I pack it. And like even my pictures, I take a rag, I just dust them all off. Packers don't do that. They literally just grab things and throw them in a box. I don't want to be taking anything dirty with me. Like I'm an extremely clean person to begin with, but dusting things off and you know, just making sure they're clean, that way when I go somewhere and I'm unpacking, I don't have to worry about that. You know what I mean? Like they took my table, my kids just ate on it and I didn't have time to wipe it off. So now I have hard jelly from 6 months ago on the table. That's not fun. So just stuff like that. I feel like I'm just gonna like, and then I was actually talking to my husband and I said, if we're gonna do all this packing, why don't we just do, it's called a ditty move, a do-it-yourself move, just do a ditty move. But then he makes a good point because he still has his truck that he has to drive down, and he has a jacked up truck basically. It's a very large truck, and I personally don't, I can drive it around, but I don't feel comfortable driving it long distances. Like just because of the way I sit in it, because I'm so short, I'm only 5 foot, I can't ever get seated because it's like a bucket seat and I sink back into it. I can never get up enough to kind of look over. Short people problems. I can't see well enough over it. I need to get like a booster seat for myself. It's not fun. I don't want to sit in a booster seat. But that's basically what I would have to do. So, I just, yeah, because he would have to drive the truck, and I just don't think we're gonna do it. No. I just want to have like the Navy guys come, load it up, and do its thing. So that's basically what's happened this week. Is just kid broke his arm, doing a lot of packing stuff, and that's pretty much it in the house here sold. So not anything too juicy happened. Sorry. But if you had something juicy that happened, leave a comment down below and we'll talk about it. I'm all about talking about the tea. So thanks for spending a little bit of time with me on this Chit Chat Friday. I'll see you next week.